Hello and welcome to The Frame, an initiative of Access Framingham. My name is Brendan Fitzpatrick. We begin tonight by taking a look at some major updates related to the city's schools. City councilors heard concerns related to school safety at Framingham High School, as well as other local schools, during their meeting at the Memorial Building on Tuesday. School Superintendent Dr. Robert Tremblay was joined by the acting principal for FHS, Mark Albright, in addressing the council. Tremblay outlined a memo regarding student behavior and safety at the high school during the meeting, as FHS has seen a recent increase in misconduct and misbehavior, rowdiness, swearing and harmful language, truancy, and physical conflicts all part of that rise. Among the notable statistics, a roughly 107% increase in the number of individual suspensions at Framingham High this year through the end of January. That's 585, compared to all of last year, 282. FPS said that about 87% of those suspensions at the school have been for nonviolent reasons, though the superintendent told the council that they're working to balance student backgrounds and potential causes for misbehavior, which are often complex, with their zero-tolerance policy of violence, all in the name of keeping the community safe. Tremblay said the district has to work to allocate proper resources beyond the high school level, addressing problematic behavior when students are still in the early stages of the educational system.
Because if we see a student escalating behavior on day one of school and it takes us 45 days to actually get support in place, it becomes very problematic for a lot of people, right? Not the least of which are the students themselves who need the support.
Our goal is, as a community, the administrators, the teachers, the students, to feel like we can turn the page on this because this is our home and this is what we want it to be.
Albright told officials that high school administrators are working to, quote, be present, end quote, and address misbehavior before it gets out of hand. More cameras are being installed and student IDs are required, and additional staff members will be monitoring hallways and bathrooms to ensure groups are not congregating. While the City Council appreciated Tremblay and Albright showing up to provide details on the situation, multiple councilors stressed the importance of safety at Framingham High. City Council Chair Phil Ottaviani of District 6 pointed out a facet that others echoed during the meeting: an increase of videos where students at the high school are fighting.
It's just not a good look. It's not a good look for Framingham. They shouldn't have to deal with it. These kids shouldn't have to deal with it. You go to school and there's violence, it's disruptive. How do kids learn if they don't feel safe?
A number of teachers working across Framingham, not just at the high school, took time on Tuesday to detail their worries regarding safety. Samantha Snyder is a teacher at Cameron Middle School. She said that educators have exhausted the tools they have to discipline the few students who act inappropriately, harming the learning environment for everyone.
Teachers, students, and administration need more support. We need more solutions for our high-need students who are exhibiting unsafe behavior and not responding to intervention. We need leadership from central office to come to our schools more frequently and actually observe this behavior that we're talking about. And we need to be believed when we say that a student needs more support instead of being told that we are not doing enough.
In other education news, the Framingham School Committee was given an outline on a number of possibilities for future busing operations amid the ongoing driver shortage. Executive Director of Finance and Operations for the school district, Lincoln Lynch, provided the update Wednesday night, as the city still sees just 57 drivers a day at most covering local bus routes. That's still 20 drivers short than what their agreement with NRT Bus Incorporated calls for. In turn, Lynch said that the city can either retain NRT as their busing provider, or they can move forward with an in-house model for busing. Drivers would become city employees, while the vehicles would be leased through a provider. Whether it's NRT or another company would have to be determined. If the city does move forward with in-house busing for the upcoming school year, Lynch asked for patience, adding that, quote, there will be challenges along the way.
So with these options, I'm not telling you that on September 1st or whatever the first day of school is next year, I will have 77 drivers. I can't even guarantee I'll have 65 drivers, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a team effort to get what we want in place.
Some drivers from NRT could be brought aboard as city drivers if that's the direction Framingham decides to go in. Lynch accounted for the highest possible costs in a pair of in-house models, one featuring 77 insured drivers and the other with 65, the latter being a figure that Lynch described as more practical. He said that the total cost for a system with 77 drivers would be around $10.9 million, with FPS covering around $8.2 million and the city accounting for roughly $2.6. Dropping that number of drivers down to 65 would bring the price to approximately $9.6 million, according to Lynch. Either way, the executive director told the school committee that he needs direction, as he called for a vote during the February 28th meeting. Committee members agreed that any number of drivers above 57 would be welcomed as an improvement, while Adam Freudberg of District 4 noted that creating a cohesive exit strategy alongside NRT and the Teamsters Union would be an important goal if the city does decide to go with in-house busing.
Now, for the next few weeks, we have some time to really work as a team to make sure that we can get the certainty that if switching to in-house happens, it is done thoughtfully, and with that no kidding, what is the driver count number?
Now, there is much more on both of those school stories as well as others across the community. Head over to our website to read more, www.theframe.news. You can stay in touch there, from need-to-know announcements to events going on around the city. Sign up for our newsletter on the website to keep in touch with The Frame during the week as well. Bids are now being accepted by the city for a project to retrofit Washacum Beach's existing stormwater outfall, as well as to install a biofiltration swale at the site. Crews are being sought to make renovations to the stormwater runoff infrastructure at the beach. The city is aiming to improve the water quality while preventing closures at Washacum, which is one of the 3 beaches in Framingham. Officials are exploring sustainable and green methods of maintaining water quality. Mayor Charlie Sositsky made the cleanup of Washacum one of his administration's priorities this year during a recent meeting with District 9 residents. Framingham will be accepting bids for the project until Monday, February 26th at 10 a.m. Meanwhile, fixed route services on Sundays from the Metro West Regional Transit Authority officially began this month. The MWRTA has made it a point to work towards expanding regional services to residents. Now, the funding from the state level has allowed the organization to open Sunday services on routes 2, 3, 4 North and 4 South, along with 7, 7C, 11, and the Green Line connector. Saturday service on all of those routes were already being provided. The MWRTA has advised that the Sunday fixed route schedules there will mirror the times and pickup points on Saturdays. Officials with the Transit Authority noted that their last ridership numbers on Sunday, the initial round of rides for these fixed routes, surpassed their expectations, adding that they'll be looking to grow the service even further in the future. Coming up on The Frame, Downtown Framingham Inc. is celebrating its 20-year anniversary. We'll take a look at what this milestone means for the organization and our community. That's just ahead, but first, a reminder that you can always send us a tip or story idea. Email us at theframe@accessfram.tv or call 508-216-0003. We'll be right back after this.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back in, as it's time now for our weekly focus. Downtown Framingham Inc. celebrated their 20-year anniversary just last week on January 31st with a special event at 135 Restaurant and Lounge. The night was filled with recognitions and reflection as DFI leaders and other local and state officials, including the Lieutenant Governor for Massachusetts, Kim Driscoll, commended the organization's dedication to supporting the businesses and residents of downtown Framingham. Several awards and citations were distributed throughout the night, including to both DFI and a number of local establishments.
DFI has worked tirelessly to create a more vibrant, welcoming downtown community. Their efforts have focused on promoting local business, enhancing spaces, creating opportunities for community members to come together and to engage with one another. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, we, the City of Framingham, Mayor Charlie Sositsky, the City Council, hereby celebrate the 20th anniversary of DFI and their organization and declare Wednesday, January 31st, 2024, Downtown Framingham Inc. Day in the City of Framingham.
In the past 2 decades, Downtown Framingham Inc. has evolved into a pillar of the community, embodying the spirit of resilience, collaboration, and growth. Central to the Downtown Framingham Inc.'s mission, understanding community building extends just beyond business and the building. It's about connecting diverse voices that make up the community. It's about going out and connecting with people. This emphasis on connection not only promotes inclusivity, but ensures that aspirations and concerns are met by residents, businesses, and organizations. As we celebrate 20 years of service, let's not only celebrate achievements, but acknowledge the journey ahead. We recognize the importance of dedication to our community, to building relationships, to nurturing the vision of a vibrant, interconnected downtown Framingham.
In recognition of your organization's leadership, service, creativity, and collaborative spirit, which have had a transformative impact on Framingham's businesses, residents, and visitors for 20 years. And it's signed by a lot of important people, including Senate President Karen Spilka.
That means 20 years of sharing your love, affection, commitment to this community, and particularly to the downtowns. As someone who is just a huge fan of Main Street's programs and people coming together to support their community, I really recognize how meaningful these contributions are. Our Main Street's programs like DFI are the ones that are helping support your smaller business complements, doing all those things that frankly we need help with in government, right? We can do some of the bigger things, but who's going to help organize decorating the downtown or setting up the event or making sure we're thinking about wayfinding and signage and public art and public music? And so I always say, like, this is the glue that makes us better. How to get from good to great? Have a DFI in your community, right? It's going to make a big difference.
If it's for the smallest of things, like choosing the color of the coffee sleeve for us, or with bigger things like applying for permits or paperwork or general research. We've just been really grateful for everything that Riyadh and DFI did for us this year.
So the next award we definitely do want to give out to Union Travel. Next up on our list. Thank you, Patrick, from Autobright Car Care. And let's give it up for Urbanos.
I would like to thank you, especially to Riyadh, and all support that we receive from the Framingham, the Framingham City, the City Hall, from Priscilla. I'm deeply honored for this opportunity. Thank you again.
In addition to Urbanos Furniture, Fresh Cafe, Autobright Car Care, and Union Travel receiving the Downtown Business Award, they also received a citation from state representatives celebrating their service to the community, along with DFI. The organization stated that they're looking forward to another 20-plus years of service to the area, as they're grateful for the community's support. You can visit DFI's website at downtownframinhaminc.org to learn more about how you can support their cause. Another celebration recently took place at Framingham State University's McAuliffe Center in honor of its grand reopening following a multi-million-dollar renovation. Members of the community were welcomed to tour the space on January 26th, just a few days before the solemn 38th anniversary of the Challenger disaster that claimed the lives of 7 crew members, including Framingham's own Krista McAuliffe. Established nearly 30 years ago to honor their alum, FSU's McAuliffe Center supports learning for various different fields of study, including STEM skills and development. Community officials and leaders are confident that the versatility of the revamped center and its learning opportunities for all will continue to honor McAuliffe's passion and dedication to teaching.
We started conversations about this center 6 years ago. There was an aspect of it's an aging facility. There was more than that. We really were reimagining the work that we could do here and keep doing the great work we do with space science education and the mission simulations, but also expand our focus. As I mentioned, we want to encourage people to develop STEM skills that are useful in any field. So it's fun to do a space mission, but the goal is not just to provide that education in a space field, but really to provide an opportunity to develop skills from teamwork to analytical skills and so on that are really, and communication, that are really useful in other environments.
Well, we are constantly looking for ways to get our kids of all ages actually involved, excited, going into the STEM areas, science, technology, engineering, math, and for better understanding what's going on in our world, on our planet. And experiential learning, I believe, is one of the best ways to do it that all kids can relate to. I think it's important that we keep Krista and the other members of the Challenger in our minds and our hearts, the importance of that trip that would have been for learning and for teaching, to have programs where all of our kids can reach for the stars in whatever way, whatever stars they feel they're going for.
I have led my life going through different spaces that are named after McAuliffe, who is such an inspiring figure within the Framingham community as a whole. Having gone to not only McAuliffe's middle school, but also the McAuliffe Library, it's only better and great that I'm now being able to be part of the team that gets to increase the learning and increase the community that exists within Framingham.
I was always very impressed by the fact, let's remember that Krista was not a science teacher. She was a social studies and history teacher, right? So she was already working in an interdisciplinary context. She wanted to be, work in space, and she was really aiming to address all of people on planet Earth, certainly students, but in general, everyone from looking at one planet, right? So from that perspective, I believe, and I really hope so, that we are carrying forward her legacy that was not just focused on one specific aspect of learning, but was really to support learners in all their capabilities, in all their interests, with enthusiasm and providing, ways to be excited about the learning experiences that they're going into. And that's what we're trying to do here.
In addition to a planetarium, the center includes a number of multifunctional, technology-enabled, interactive learning spaces. FSU is home to one of 35 different Challenger Learning Centers. Headquartered in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Challenger Center is a leading STEM education nonprofit organization dedicated to continuing the Challenger crew's educational mission. The McAuliffe Center at Framingham State hosts public events frequently. You can check those out and learn more by visiting cm-center.org. If you find yourself exploring the McAuliffe Center or beyond, we would love to see your experiences. Find us on social media to stay in touch. We're on Instagram and X at @framenews_. Follow us there for daily updates and tag us when you're out in the city. You can also subscribe to the Access Framingham channel on YouTube and hit the bell icon to be notified when new episodes go up every week. Check out our Facebook page as well just by searching for The Frame. Shifting gears to our weather now, let's take a look at what we can expect heading into the weekend. Friday will be partly sunny with a high near 50 degrees and lows dipping down into the upper 30s. Saturday will start out partly sunny, but expect more clouds to move into the area during the evening with the potential for some rain showers as well. Highs in the upper 50s, even near 60 degrees. How does that sound for February? Lows on Saturday are primed to settle into the low 40s. Finally, for Super Bowl Sunday, a mostly sunny outlook throughout the day with more cloud coverage into the evening during the big game. Highs in the upper 40s before cooling down into the low 30s. We're taking a quick break now, but when we return, Framingham is just days away from the Lunar New Year. We'll be taking a look at events happening here in Framingham set to commemorate the Year of the Dragon. That's just ahead. Stay tuned.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to The Frame as we check out what else is happening locally. Framingham officials are looking to fill openings on a set of local committees as they seek residents to submit their names for consideration. The Elderly and Disabled Tax Fund Committee oversees the mandate that defrays for the real estate taxes of elderly or disabled people with low income. Those can be provided by taxpayers through voluntary donations, pledges, or checkoffs. Applications for 2 vacancies in that group are due on February 16th. Also, there are 5 spots available on the city's Human Relations Commission. A city statement noted that they work to deal with the causes of intergroup disunity, which underline the urban crisis, while also ensuring that all citizens are subject to equal law enforcement and protection. Those applications are due Tuesday, February 20th. Finally, the 9-member Cushing Memorial Chapel Advisory Committee was recently reactivated by Mayor Sisitsky for the first time since 2018, back when Framingham became a city. They'll be tasked with evaluating future repair work for the South Framingham site, while also planning an 80th anniversary celebration for the chapel alongside the mayor's office and the Veterans Council. Applications for the Chapel Advisory Committee are also due on the 20th of February. All of those application forms can be accessed on www.framinghamma.gov. Saturday is Lunar New Year, and the Framingham Public Library System will celebrate the start of the Year of the Dragon with a series of commemorations over the weekend. On Friday, residents of all ages are invited to the main library from 3 to 4 p.m., as well as the McAuliffe Branch Library from 3:30 to 4:30 to construct an accordion paper dragon puppet. The next day, from 11 a.m. to noon, the main library will host a community celebration in recognition of the Lunar New Year. Guests will be treated with additional crafts, activities, and performances by students from Walsh Middle School and Framingham High School. The Century Chinese Language School, a nonprofit educational organization based at FSU, will be holding a gala at the university's Dwight Performing Arts Center on Sunday as well, from 1 to 5 p.m. Guests will be treated to performances from students, immersive showcases, and more. And finally this week, bringing it back to the high school, the FHS girls basketball team recently held their senior night event. Graduating players were brought out onto the court and recognized for their achievements, alongside their family and friends. As for the game itself, it went well for the Flyers. Against their rivals from Natick, Framingham defeated the Redhawks 44-29. Junior Allie Regan led the way with 14 points along with 7 rebounds and 7 steals. Not to be outdone, her sister, freshman Steffi Regan, had a solid night too. She earned her first double-double of her high school career with 13 points and 10 boards. Maddie Gorney and Grace Hanna were also key to the Framingham victory on the score sheet and in the paint, as Garney logged 7 points while Hanna grabbed 9 rebounds. As of Tuesday, Framingham High's girls basketball team holds a spot to automatically qualify for the Division I state tournament. The same goes for both the boys and girls hockey teams. We want to give a special shout out to the team over at FEC TV for putting together those senior night highlights. Before we close tonight, we want to remind you that it is because of Access Framingham that we're able to bring you our coverage here at The Frame. Access Framingham is an independent nonprofit 501c3 that provides low to no cost training and creative opportunities in broadcast television, podcasting, animation, and video making. All residents and students, as well as organizations and businesses in the city, are eligible to become members. Whether you're looking to learn something new, host your own show, be around creative people, or get more involved in the community, you can join Access Framingham today by visiting www.accessfram.tv. Access Framingham can be found on RCN Channel 3, RCN HD Channel 1100, Comcast Channel 9, and Verizon Channel 43. That's all the time we have for this week's Framingham News in Focus. For all of us here at The Frame, we want to thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Brendan Fitzpatrick. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.